Hello and welcome to the Lime Tree Sessions podcast. This is our first ever episode and we have the lovely Jack Harvey with us from the Houndcats. Everybody, worst gigging experience.
Me and the dog's birthday party.
We just turned up and it was closed.
Like, if you want my body by Rod Stewart while you're in the shower.
Hello.
We are here.
How you doing, Jack? You alright?
I'm alright, how are you?
Not so bad, not so bad.
Good
Be
stuff.
honest, this is the first one we've ever done, so you are the guinea pig for this
I
episode.
know, yeah.
But I mean, we've just done a couple of videos with Jack as well. A couple of covers that'll be coming out later on the channel. And they were really good. We're ploughed on despite Jack being ever so slightly ill.
Oh yes, you could probably hear from my voice. It's not great.
He's like Phoebe in Friends when she had a cold.
Yes,
and
yes.
sounds really sexy, you know. So I've got a couple of cues for her here because as this is our first time doing a podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we're not really sure how to do it. So we're going to kind of just troop on and see what happens. So we've got a couple of questions here. So Jack, and to everybody else in the room, what was your first ever musical inspiration, whether it be a person or an artist or something like that?
Probably Noel Gallagher was the first person that.
Get out.
No,
No,
I know,
I
yeah.
was the same.
I know.
I was the same.
It's bad that I know
yeah.
that.
He was my first one.
No,
Like-
it really was because I like. It's really simple guitar stuff, and it's just you can easily pick it up really quickly. And I was just doing gigs in pubs and that, playing Oasis songs, and that's just where it all started.
It's
really,
the easiest chord.
it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it the Oasis
all the
stuff that
same
you
four
like?
chords as well? Yeah. Oh yeah, I like both. I like his solo stuff as well. Yeah.
So when you were playing in pubs, was it Wonderwall and
Yeah,
Don't Look
it
Back
still
Now,
is.
yeah.
It still is.
The
That's
usual
it.
suspect.
Nothing much has changed in the past, 30 years
30
since they've been
yeah.
around, I suppose, is it? Because it's like, we were saying before about like people like Kurt Cobain and stuff like that. That's like the other side of it, you know, Gallagher's, being very basic songs and structures, but it means that it's accessible to lots of people, which may be a good thing, maybe a bad thing. I'll leave that to your interpretation. In terms of like, because you do a lot of 60 stuff in the Houndcats, and we've got a couple of lads here from the preamps, I should point out as well. We haven't introduced ourselves, so maybe we'll do that afterwards.
Yeah, we
Yes.
should do that, yes.
But okay, well, we'll take a quick break from that. My name's Jack. We've got,
I'm Lyndon.
and
I'm Scott here.
these two lads are in the preamps, which is also a 60s inspired band, as well as the Houndcats, which Jack is in. So in the Houndcats, you do a lot of 60s stuff.
Yeah.
What was the thing that made you want to do that stuff in the band? Was there something like a turning point where you really got into 60s music?
Well, I've
or-
always liked it, but I think for weddings and stuff like that, everyone likes the 50s
Definitely,
and
yeah,
60s
definitely.
music. Like every age group likes it. You can have like people that are 12-year-old like running around the dance floor and that and loving it, and then you've got like the 80-year-old women there and they're loving
Large
it just as
demographic,
much.
like.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you guys find that as well in the preamps?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, kids will dance to pretty much anything,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
really handy. But yeah, our demographic is...
Or stick that toys on your ride cymbal.
Or, yeah, do strange things. But, no, yeah, it's a very wide-reaching music from the 60s, and especially 70s music as well.
Yeah.
It's...
But you guys go down really well at a club because, let's be honest, the average age in a club is
Yes.
well over 50 and 60.
Aye.
So you guys go down amazing at clubs because obviously most of the people in there probably saw the Beatles and saw,
Aye, the
you know what I
love
mean?
We've had some
love
good
one.
stories from people who've said
Yeah,
they've seen
yeah.
the Beatles
Yeah,
and stuff.
we-
Yeah.
Like the animals at the city hall and stuff like
No
that
way.
and all of that.
The best
yeah,
compliment we ever had was someone said, I saw the Beatles in 1965 and you sound just as good as they did then.
Yeah. Oh, that's class,
it.
that.
You can
That's it.
retire after that.
I was
man.
going to say, you want to get that on a poster?
I know, yeah.
Yeah,
Or a
yeah.
t-shirt. Get
Yeah,
a
and then,
t-shirt.
like,
The Houndcats just as good as
Just
the
as good as the
yeah,
Beatles.
yeah.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, aye.
Cue
You said
time.
Noel Gallagher being
Yeah.
main influence. Are you signing up to Town Hall when he's coming? Not the Town Hall, sorry, Townwell.
I'll try and get tickets. I've seen him once. I saw him at Scarborough Open Air Theatre in 2018 or something like that. And he was
Yeah, yeah.
brilliant. Then I was right at the front. But I'll have to try and get tickets to see him again.
Aye, we've got tickets for the Townwell, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be
Andrew's supporting Andrew Cushing
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's Charlatans as well.
Yeah.
Local lad.
Be
I'll have
good
to have a look
Be
at
good
that.
un.
Absolutely. So Desert Island Discs,
Oh.
right? So I think we should all participate in this segment. You can tell it's my first time on a
Segment.
podcast. I can't fucking talk. You have to bleep. We need to bleep there. Lyndon. Desert Island Discs. Let's all have one. So you can only take one album with you, if possible, to a desert island. Obviously, you're not there. You're there against your will. You don't really want to be there. But if you could take, your record player and a record,
Can it be like a Now album?
a compilation,
That's a
get your
shit.
money's worth. Get your money's worth.
No.
Best of the Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
Alan Partridge
Have you,
reference there.
have you heard about that? Because well, I should point out that what I'm about to say, two lads here in the preamps are supporting Pete Best, the previous drummer of the Beatles, and he did something amazing to get back at, because obviously he got fired from the Beatles back in the day. He did something amazing, which I think is the coolest thing ever. So to kind of get a little bit of revenge on the Beatles, he released an album called Best of the Beatles, but it wasn't a greatest hits album. It was just all the songs he was on.
Yeah, that he was
That's
on.
class. That.
I thought that was absolutely brilliant.
Definitely.
What were we talking about?
Desert
Island Disc.
What was it?
So it could be anything.
I'm not going first.
Do you want to go first?
Excluding compilations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got to be.
yeah.
Gotta be
An
proper
actual
albums.
record that
Proper
was
albums,
released.
Yeah.
Yeah, an album.
Out of the Blue, ELO.
Okay.
What's on that?
That's a good one. Fair enough.
Mr. Blue Sky,
Yeah.
Turn to Stone.
Is that the one on the
I've
wall?
got it there. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
There
one
it
on the wall.
is. There it is on the wall.
The greatest album ever.
It is
No
good.
dispute.
They're
Yeah.
all good songs. Like,
Yeah,
they're all
good
good
songs.
songs on it.
What about yourself,
Oh,
Scott?
I know. Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
Good.
Without a
yeah,
doubt.
yeah.
Without a
That
doubt.
is a good shout.
I kind of have.
You can't have two.
I can't have two.
You can't have two.
Okay,
no,
I'll
I've got
pick
like
one, and then I'll tell you what my second one would
Okay.
be if the record shop didn't have this available. So it would be Reckless, Bryan Adams,
Oh, that's a good shout, to be fair.
because every song on it is amazing. Like, I could listen to that album forever. But my second one, it's also value for money. It'd probably be Wildflowers by Tom Petty, because it's like, what, 25 songs on it,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's one of the best albums ever, in my opinion. Like, the way it's recorded, it was recorded at a place called Sound City, which
Oh, yeah. Sounds
does it exist anymore? It
I
got,
think it does, doesn't it?
because Dave Grohl's got the console out of it now. He owns the console.
I don't think it exists anymore.
I don't think it does. But amazing that, like, well,
Oh,
we're talking
right.
about Kurt Cobain and stuff. Nevermind was recorded there and stuff like that. But like, Dave Grohl has a documentary called the Sound City documentary, where he talks about like all the albums that have been recorded there and stuff. And there's a long segment about Wildflowers, and it's awesome. I'd recommend anybody having a look at that. Like, it's if you like the album, you'd love to see how it was made.
Yeah, I remember you saying about getting it on. Like, aye.
It's a great documentary. Like, Dave Grohl does loads of documentaries. He's really
He
good.
does, doesn't he?
He's a very good, keen filmmaker. Like, there's quite a few. Jack, what about yourself? Desert Island
Well,
Disc?
sticking with like Noel Gallagher, probably. What's the Story? Morning Glory, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you don't get many bands that the second album's better than the first album, but
That is very
controversial.
true.
Like, but I don't know. But I like his first solo album as well, actually.
Yeah. Every song on that's excellent,
it's
innit?
every
Just as
song I
good as
can
the
listen to
next.
it. Yeah. Oh, actually, no, this is like
Have you got
three
a
now,
third
isn't it?
one?
Go on.
The Pigeon Detectives. What was that album called? I can't remember what it was called now. But it was.
It's a good
at the
job you
fir-
taking it with you at the desert island. I mean,
Yeah, I know. but like I used to, for some reason, when I got in the shower, I just put the whole album on and I'd listen to the whole album in the shower when I was like 15 or
Do you
something.
listen to
like
music on the show? I don't.
that. I don't anymore,
No,
but
I
I
You don't
used to.
anymore?
can't.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
Do you?
I don't, but I have.
You have.
Yeah.
So my dad's got this like Bluetooth speaker. But you connect it to like your Google Mini.
Yeah.
So you tell Google Mini to like play
Oh,
like
right,
Planet
aye.
Rock, and it like streams it too. So I have a few times, but there's nothing more disconcerting than listening to like "If You Want My Body" by Rod Stewart while you're in the shower. Like, it's a bit weird. I can't sing that, man. We'll get
No,
sued.
no.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. I suppose that album, What's the Story, Morning Glory, probably was their most famous and kind
Yeah.
of
Definitely, yeah.
biggest accolade.
I like
to date.
everything on Definitely Maybe, but I think What's the Story's better.
It's the best of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Oasis albums,
It
without a
is.
doubt.
I mean, I don't like Oasis, but if I was to
Oh.
pick an album I like the most, it would be The Master Plan.
Yeah,
I
good
think-
shout
I
actually.
think- I think
is
just-
that all the B-sides, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah,
I think it is.
I
aye.
think that's
Yeah.
why I like it, because
Yeah, it's-
nobody asks for it in a pub, so I like
And
that.
to be fair, Oasis B-sides are some of the
better
best.
than-
Noel's
yeah, they
B-sides are just as good as his A-sides.
I think
I understand.
the thing about Oasis for me is like, personally, like, I don't get Liam's crack. I
Yeah.
really don't get
I
it.
know.
Like, I just think like Noel wrote all the songs. Like, he's brilliant. He's a fantastic musician. I feel Liam just rode those
Yeah.
coattails.
I don't
like,
think
to the
I
nth
don't
degree.
think they'd have made it without his voice though.
That's the thing. The early stuff, without Liam's voice,
Yeah.
I don't think he's a
What's
good
the
singer.
Story wouldn't have been as good
No,
as
it
it
wouldn't
was.
be,
Or
no.
well, definitely maybe as well. It is Liam's voice, but I get what you're coming at. Like Noel being the
Yeah.
one that's writing and stuff like that.
I don't actually like his voice, so that's just
Oh,
my.
do you not?
That's
No,
my
I'm with you.
personal- yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not live
Yeah.
in?
Nah.
I know what you mean.
I think Noel's a better singer.
Have you seen?
Now he definitely is.
Yeah.
Liam can't sing
He's-
at all now.
No,
Yeah.
that's true.
He couldn't sing anyway. He was just.
He
I
could.
get it's the attitude and all that kind of stuff, because I suppose that's probably what made them successful. Is the. I mean, they had that whole rivalry with Blur and all that kind of stuff, and like, the tabloids. If you're in the tabloids, if it's good news or bad news, it's like all news is good publicity sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
And because he was like the bad lad and all that kind of stuff, like it worked for
We're
their
loving
image.
it, loving
Yeah.
it.
So
It was the 90s.
yeah, but if you look at all that like kind of trope throughout history, the bad lad was always it was always very attractive to
Yes.
the press and people and all that kind of stuff. I mean, like, have you ever heard about the story when there was a rumor that Alice Cooper bit a chicken's head off live?
Yes.
Oh, aye.
And like the story goes that like Frank Zappa called him up the next day and go, "Did you eat a chicken on stage last night?" And he went, "No." And Frank Zappa was like, "Oh, don't tell anyone because it's great. It's great news, great publicity, So maybe there's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
in that, but I don't rate him.
Liam's voice back then. It was. Have you seen the like isolated vocal for Champagne Supernova? He does it in
Yeah,
one
yeah,
take.
it's mint, innit?
Noel doesn't like show him what to do or whatever, like the melody and all that.
Just
does
gives
it in
him the
one
lyrics.
take. It's spot on. Straight, honestly, he was up
Yeah, I
there.
think he was
Liam,
good.
at the time.
I think
not now, but
I think I just don't like his voice. I think
Yeah.
that it's just
Yeah, that's it, innit?
personal
For you.
preference more than anything else. But
Aye.
also, I think he's not a nice person either.
Yeah.
Like he just I think he comes across badly. And whether he's like that, whether that's an act, I don't know.
I don't think it is. That
Maybe it's
definitely
not.
that's true to him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not.
Rock and
No.
roll star.
Have you seen the MTV Unplugged session they did when
Yeah,
Liam just
yeah.
didn't turn up?
That-
That was,
yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. That though, when
Didn't he
when
turn up
Noel-
the end though? He was watching. From,
Yeah, like from the balcony,
Yeah,
he's like
from the
flipping
back.
them off and that.
I don't. That's not on like not turning up for performance.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you find that almost now it's the other way around though, where it's like it's cool to be professional and cool to be like on time and like it, I almost feel like the rock side of that, where like, oh, he's a rock star, he can do what he wants. You know what I mean? I almost find that like uncool compared to like
Yeah,
someone.
now definitely are.
Like someone like, I know I've mentioned a couple of times, but Dave Grohl, like he's like on it and he's very committed
mint,
and
he's
like
mint.
he's one of those people who is like just on the money, like with everything, and he puts his heart into everything. He's never like slacks or anything like that, and like I think that's way cooler. And obviously, like, he's a family man, all that kind of
Put
stuff.
it down to earth, and
I think that's
definitely-
way cooler than just being a dick.
yeah, I know what you mean.
need
No,
to
you're
bleep there,
right,
Lyndon.
you're right, you're right.
But yeah, I think that's way cool in my opinion. I don't know if that's just because how I am, but unprofessionality. I think it's like it's not as cool as it used to be.
No,
Do you know what I
definitely
mean?
not.
Definitely are.
Yeah.
So, tell us about your band, the Houndcats.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I started it in 2017, I think now. And believe it or not, I put an advert on joinmyband.com.
Oh, yes.
The preamps, we did that originally
you?
as well. Yeah.
What, is that how you got?
Was
No, it
this
wasn't.
was
It was-
pre-me.
Oh,
All right,
pre-Lyndon.
right. Well, that got me Stephen, the bass player, and his
Yeah,
brother,
yeah.
the drummer, Jono. And then Billy, the guitarist, he said, "Oh, can I join?" And he was like, "Yeah, go on then."
The rest
If
is
you must,
history.
If you must, yeah.
The rest is history.
Yeah, and it's been gigging ever since. It's been brilliant, yeah.
It's predominantly like weddings and parties. that you do.
Yeah, it started off. We did a few pubs and that just to get practicing in that.
Oh, you do,
I like playing pubs, but the others aren't too keen on it. So we did a few pubs to get into practice. Then we joined an agency and we've been doing weddings and corporate events and stuff like that. Yeah, functions.
Again, though, people love the '60s stuff. That it probably, like you say, it goes down that well.
Yeah,
Is that why you got on EMV? Because
Yeah,
there wasn't
yeah.
many 60s
There wasn't-
artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're with EMV live, aren't you?
Yeah. That was. I think we were the only one, and then you joined them, didn't you? For
Like
a few
we've
bit-
got a couple of gigs through them.
Yeah,
we did.
We'll try to work out what gigs they were. I think we did a couple of private parties, didn't we? Through EMV?
Yes, a lot of the private ones we did, and all the stack gigs.
yeah,
yeah, of
Also,
course.
it's
Stack,
Stack,
don't use them
Stack.
anymore, but yeah.
Oh, do they not?
No, they bought their booking system out, and then I think they've made their own booking system now.
Really?
But they still book us because we must be mint or something.
Absolutely.
well, you've just got Seaburn now, haven't you?
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
Of course, Newcastle is no more.
Yeah.
I went
Well,
past it the other day, like all in ruins, and I was like,
Oh, it's so sad,
It's a
isn't it?
shame, innit?
It's
I,
weird.
I
It's
keep
wicked,
looking at
wasn't it?
videos
It's a
from
metaphor
when we
for
played there, and it's
something,
like,
isn't it?
oh.
We did
What,
the
being
exact
torn
same
down?
thing. We
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a Sweet Caroline video.
Yeah.
It's just the
It's-
atmosphere that you
yeah.
could get at Newcastle. Was
Yeah, I'm going to
mint,
build another one. I've got inside
They are?
scoop. Yeah.
Do you know where or yet?
Well, I don't know
or-
where, but it's gonna. Oh, I don't know if I should.
Jar-
Jar-
we
Jar-
can't really talk
Do you, know,
about this.
do you know where would be class? The
Where?
Quayside. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if you want to.
I don't know where it is.
You
I don't
don't
know.
know.
Apparently, it's 90 seconds from where
That's
it
what I
is now.
got told as well.
Yeah,
90
yeah.
seconds from where it was.
Yeah.
Where could it be then?
I don't
We
know.
we can't say anymore.
I don't know.
No, we can.
Okay.
I can
I'm
say
trying
it's
to
got.
think.
It's
Hi,
gonna
Kev,
have.
if you're listening.
It's gonna have 3 levels and
Oh,
11
get
bars. Apparently.
Apparently, it's going to be like the way it'll be centered around the stage as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like you'll be able to
Centred
see the
around live
stage from
music.
all
Oh,
yes.
parts of it. Do you know
Similar
what I mean?
to the Seaburn one, I would think.
So,
90 seconds.
But
I'm
we-
trying to work out where.
but
I
we
know.
don't know
We're
that.
scouting around town next week, trying to find the location.
There must be somewhere that's getting demolished.
That's
or
what I'm
something.
trying to think.
Yeah.
It's quite disheartening.
Is there
though, that-
anything near down where Loft Studios is?
Yes, there
Because
is.
that's pretty close.
But I think they're
Oh,
building
they are
offices and stuff
building
there,
there.
aren't they?
Well, they're building offices where it was.
I hit.
Isn't it
HMRC.
so
HMRC,
funny
yeah.
that they're building HMRC offices there? Like
Yeah.
all those musicians trying to escape the tax man, and then suddenly he's there right on your doorstep. We don't do that
Surprise.
though. I just want to point out
No,
that we are
that
law-abiding
definitely-
Oh, without a
citizens.
doubt.
Absolutely, everything goes through. Yes, you can ask my accountant about that. But Stack was awesome. I loved playing Stack. It
It's
was
know.
my
great.
favourite gigs have been at Stack.
Better than Seaburn, isn't it? Newcastle.
Yeah, yeah.
One.
It's different.
I don't want to
audience.
diss them, but I think the Newcastle one was better.
Yeah, it definitely was. Yeah,
The
yeah.
Newcastle one was good when it had the
It's-
full stage, but I don't like it when it was.
No, the small stage was.
yeah,
it wasn't.
We
it wasn't
never
great.
played it when there was small stage. The
That we
pre-amps
don't think would fit on.
No, we
we,
don't.
we got a full band on, but
Did
we
you?
don't use amps, so that's
That's
probably
true. Was it more of a case of side by side, like
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
big long row,
Yeah,
rather
Steve
than
was,
Yeah,
in front of
line.
each other?
Steve was right behind me, like
Poking you in the back
yeah,
we have it.
with his guitar.
yeah. But well, the Seaburn one's mainly kids and dogs in the audience, whereas
That's
the
it, isn't
Newcastle
it?
one was like, "Whoa, lads, you know."
It's with it being by the beach, isn't it? People
Yeah,
have gone
yeah,
out
yeah.
for a stroll and they've just come to get a quick
Oh,
drink or
ooh,
go off the
what's this?
afternoon. Exactly.
Yeah.
Who's this playing? Whatever. And, you know, I
You do,
definitely-
because when we went in town not long ago, we had a pop into.
we did, yeah. It was before
'cause
the.
you do hear people and you think, oh, that sounds good.
It was before the Sam
Wondering.
Fender gig, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We popped in. It was that
It was two-
duo, and I tried to ask you who they were because I thought they were
Okay.
wicked. But that was you pop in, don't you? Because you hear them from outside.
Yeah,
and
you hear them
it's-
on the street.
It is a good idea.
We were the
Start-
first band to play there, and we got loads of sound complaints on the first night.
Oh,
Of course you
no.
did.
Those
As you ever do.
flats.
Yeah, the flats are opposite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They complain a lot. They did something really clever at the Seaburn one though, because they said they got quite a lot of sound complaints. And as you walk in to the side entrance, it's got like it's really
Baffles,
hard. Yeah,
isn't it?
it's really hard to
Yeah.
describe this on a podcast because it's not visual. But like they've almost got like a maze as you go in.
Yeah.
So there's like a board and then like another board, and you sort of go
Oh, they're
round.
staggered.
Like it's staggered board. Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure it's called
Um,
Baffles, isn't it?
yeah, they're
sound
just
baffles.
Baffles.
Yeah.
But like it works because I walked up and didn't hear anything. And then when
Yeah.
I got in, it was like blazing. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!" It's like it's
clever.
very clever. It works because when I went in, because this was like a few months after I'd like been before, and I was walking in like thinking, "Is this place closed?" Because they've got like it all boarded up, and you know what I mean. But it was just for sound purposes. But I think I prefer the Seaburn one
you?
personally. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
It's better set up in there. Yeah.
I think because they worked out all the kinks with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Newcastle. Because obviously it was never meant to be
Yeah.
permanent.
The CB one, it was better to get on stage.
Yeah.
The like where you park and where you get on. Whereas the Newcastle one, it was like all right, tight squeeze
Yeah,
and
it
go
was
around
never
the
a
back
car
with all the
park.
pebbles
A
and
lot of
stuff and the gravel. But CB was easier to load in and set up. But I think just atmosphere wise,
Yeah, I
think
Newcastle,
the
you can't be Geordies
Yeah.
to Malcolm's, can you?
Oh, aye.
Simple as that.
Yeah,
Simple as that.
Fair enough. It is a shame that it's gone. though.
Sorry
I
to bring
mean,
that up.
No, it's fine. I was going to say we are based in Newcastle right now. Well, sort of Newcastle. We're not going to give Lyndon's address away.
Thank you.
Because the other week...
It's okay, Lyndon's editing
Lime-
the audio.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. I said this the other week because on YouTube you can put on where your videos have been filmed. And I was like, oh, we should put on... your studio, and he was like, well, I don't want to tell like the whole world, where, I
world
live.
where I live.
And I was like, that
Have
didn't.
people knocking on me door.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I would probably say this is all being recorded from Lyndon Studio, Lime Tree Music Studios. Yes?
Yes. He's
We-
a fantastic producer.
This is where we record all
There's
our
no
sessions
no
from.
guns to our head right
No,
now. We
I'll
are
pay
saying
them
that.
later, it's fine.
Yeah. We're saying that out of the goodness of our hearts. But he's cracking. For those of you who don't know, I am a country artist, and we did a lot of demos and recordings here as well.
We did.
They all sounded great. That's a cheeky little plug from me. I do
Yeah,
apologise.
everyone should
for
check out
Lyndon.
Jack's music.
And for Lyndon.
yeah.
Definitely.
But we shoot all of our videos here. If you've watched any of the stuff on the channel so far, and the stuff that'll be coming out soon with Mr. Jack Harvey here from the
Jack Harvey,
Houndcats.
yes.
Oh, yes.
Houndcats? It was all... I know, sorry, I do apologise. That sounds like a shopping trolley. Houndcats. But yeah, it was all shot and recorded here. And when Jack walked in, he was like, God, it's a lot smaller than it looks on
Is
the
this
videos.
it? Is this it?
Yeah, because we've got like a GoPro, which is like the wide angle, and it does make it look
does,
bigger.
yeah, it does.
And this is the first time, well, it's the second time, but it's the first time we've had 4 people in where someone else is playing the guitar, because we had Sophie Purvis, a drummer who's also my girlfriend, in once, but she was literally just playing the cajon, so it was kind of concise and it wasn't like massively space consuming. But because we had like 2 guitarists and a bass player and a keyboard in, it was like, whoa, okay, like, you know, the floor was a
Suddenly
mess
there
with
is no
cables.
room.
Yeah.
Well, we've made it work though, haven't we? I think it's hopefully
Yeah, it worked
it'll
okay,
come out-
yeah.
It turned
come
out- it turned out great.
Definitely, aye.
It's just fun at the end of the day. Like, I met
definitely.
we really should have done like an introducing episode, really, because I'm just talking about like origins here. But never mind.
It'll come out in bits. People will work it out.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
all
it's
join
fine.
it together.
Yeah.
somehow.
All join it together as it goes
Yeah.
along.
It's fine, But I met Scott and Lyndon at a buskers night I used to run in Springwell Village. And we got chatting and stuff, and I ended up having a jam and what have you. And we said, oh, you know, we'll have a practice, we'll have a jam or whatever. And came to Lyndon's studio, and then sort of one thing led to another.
One thing led to another.
And we ended
The
up
rest
making
is
sweet
history.
music together. So yeah, we formed this. We were talking about it for quite a while before it kind of happened. It was probably a couple of months before we were like, right, let's try something here. And we had like 5 videos done before we put the channel out, and it was and they've got progressively better because we learned how to use
the
the
way
mic.
it is, isn't it? You just
We were
shows
very much
progression.
starting from scratch, really. So
It was great though. I mean,
big
it's-
learning curve.
We do it pretty much every week, doing covers and stuff, and we're hoping to have lots of more guests in and doing podcasts
that'll
and
be
all this
cool.
kind of stuff as well. And we're very lucky to have Jack right now.
Very
The 2 songs we did with Jack are, what were they again? I've already forgot. Folsom Prison Blues
Yes.
and Sitting on the Dock of the Bay.
Oh yes.
So
Great
you've got
songs.
them to look forward to as well.
You'll be able to hear my croaky voice in them.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so this is quite an interesting question, I think. And we can all pitch in on this. This is something that I feel like we'll probably ask everybody who comes in as well. Best and worst gigging experience. I imagine there'll be lots of bleeps in this section for some reason. I just feel like...
well, let's not try and get libel.
no.
No, not at all, not at all.
Yeah, don't mention the venue.
Probably your best one.
Yeah, you mentioned the best one. Maybe don't mention
Aye.
the
I
worst
think
one.
that the best one must have been at Stack, surely. Stack
Well,
Newcastle.
I
Mine
bet-
as
imagine
well.
we're the
Yeah,
same,
yeah.
yeah. Newcastle.
been.
New. That
Because it's
time,
The Sweet Caroline video.
yeah.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Oh, the Love Sweet Caroline. And Country Roads, we do that and everyone's up and singing.
I can
It's
imagine,
brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think there's like 1,800 people in there at one point, weren't there? I think nearly. When it was at the full capacity, yeah. In summer 2018, 19, whatever it was.
because the football was on as well, wasn't it? That helped.
Oh,
People are
It's
crazy. Like,
wicked.
it's just like sun, beer, and music. Just billions of people in this tiny, relatively small place. It's
Yeah.
just like
Perfect
it's
concoction.
one of
Brilliant,
those
wasn't
things, isn't it? It's just and I mean, it probably does help that everyone in there is from Newcastle and they're all
Mint.
Rajis, as we would say.
Yeah.
No, we're all mint, man.
Yeah.
yeah.
I sounded a bit posh there. They're all Rajis.
You're all right.
Go on then, worst
Worst
without being liable.
Beach box in Jesmond where I.
Well, where we play.
Yeah.
There's where libel gone.
gonna
We never paid out.
Oh,
You
sorry,
used
we
to
can bleep that out. We can bleep it out.
Oh,
There's where libel
Oh,
gone.
they've just reopened as well, and I think apparently it looks a bit better than it did. But they've got like a 70 decibel sound limit or something
Oh,
stupid like
no
that.
way.
It's like
which for reference
it's
is very quiet.
like a
bad,
dishwasher's about 90 decibels, isn't it? It's something stupid. And
It was-
there was one point where I was strumming my guitar and it wasn't even coming out the speakers, and they were coming over saying it's too loud, it's too
Oh,
loud.
you can't be having that, can you?
It's just ridiculous. So
It was a strange.
and
it
they
was a
tried to
strange
book.
gig.
They kept booking the band there as well, like the full band with drums and everything. And it's like not going to work.
And that was like a very small stage as well, like really small, like
Yeah.
Do you know it was smaller
half
than,
the size of this room. It
That's
was
not possible.
It was very small.
Do you
very
know it was
small.
smaller than Stack Newcastle towards the
Oh
end?
yeah.
Yeah,
Smaller
it
than
was
that?
like half the size of it. Yeah, it was crazy.
Really?
We barely fit on the two of us when we did that duo gig. It was yeah.
We just before Christmas last year, me and Steve turned up to do an acoustic duo gig there, and we just turned up and it was closed.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
It was like
Wow.
all the gates were closed, and we were definitely booked for the gig. And it's like, oh, the security came over and was like, oh, it's closed. So they said, oh, we'll play in the pub around the corner in the Holy Hobo. They own it, don't they? So
Oh,
Okay,
right,
played
right.
there
yeah,
instead,
yeah.
But
Never been there, actually.
yeah,
It's literally just next door, isn't it? I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
been to a band, no sort.
it was
where it is.
it was a lot better playing in there than it was at the. Beach
Can
Box,
imagine,
to be
yeah.
fair,
No
'Cause
no decibel meter.
Exactly, yeah.
They do get a lot of complaints, but weren't they saying they get the complaints from the other side
Other
of the
side
road?
of the
Other
road.
side
It's
of the
like a
road,
fall-in motorway between it.
Also, should we mention that is the worst merge
It is,
system
isn't it?
ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
If any know that other people that are listening
Yeah.
drive around Newcastle City Centre, you'll know what we mean.
It's the most dangerous stretch of motorway anywhere in the land. It's
Yeah.
It crosses
Yeah,
over.
I've just about gotten used to it now, but I don't know.
oh,
It's
just got to prepare yourself when you're coming up to it.
I must say though that Jack and the Houndcats did like the nicest thing ever for me that day though, because the crack is that I was meant to be depping for the Houndcats on guitar, and was it Stephen got COVID?
No, Jono got COVID, the drummer. So then it was going to be what was it? Yeah, it was going to be us three with Jack on guitar, and then the drummer got COVID, and Steve and Jono lived together, so they couldn't play with us. So on that morning, me and Jack were like, "Oh, we'll think of something." We just did it as a duo.
But it was very kind of him though, because you sort of, like you said,
and it wouldn't have worked as a full band anyway because of the sound restrictions. So.
But you were like, well, you've kept this date free for us, so we'll honour the gig sort of thing. Because I mean, you could have just cancelled it, but you were like, no, well, you've said yes, so we'll do it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it was very kind of you.
I totally would have cancelled it if you weren't booked.
No, I mean, given the state of the gig, I wouldn't have minded. But I mean, obviously, I didn't know that it was going to be. I do apologise if Jasmine Beachbox are listening. Like, I feel like we're really slagging them off. I feel like
it was an easy £100 or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I didn't mind because like it was fine. Like, I mean, we just had a jam more than anything. And it was fun in that regard. But
nice to do something different for a change, wasn't it? Like just.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely different playing with like no sound. Like it was the fact that like the guy out the front kept going, "No, it's
too loud.
Too loud, too loud." And we're like, I can't hear anything, and you're saying it's too loud. It's just the wind you're hearing. You know what I mean?
It's annoying that. No, it's sound engineers.
It's got his own earphone.
Yeah, but the thing is, they come around with the sound measure.
The decibel meter.
But they put it right up close to you like this. It's like, obviously it's gonna.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I thought because there was a DJ that was kind of like playing in between and what
he
have
was
you.
just doing it for the paycheck in, wasn't he, at the end? Because he couldn't have it very loud.
He was. But he was louder than us.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, we've had that before when DJ has been louder than you.
Oh my, that was
so annoying. That
there's one club, I can't remember where it is.
Is it the one in Middlesbrough? Dorman's.
Oh, I don't know.
Dorman's Social Club, where the floor fucking rattles and you feel sick and all sorts.
It was the one where the power went out. Do you remember that?
That was it, wasn't it?
Was it that one? I can't remember.
Yeah, the one where the stage sort of was like a semi.
Yeah,
that's Dorman's in Middlesbrough.
Unfathomably loud.
Right.
Like piercingly loud.
Definitely. Honestly, I felt sick packing down.
Just
the rumble and stuff through the stage.
It's horrific.
Oh.
We were playing at Beachbox Jesmond when Christian Eriksen was. What happened when he collapsed on?
Yeah. For the football,
and that was on the
World Cup.
big screen next to us,
Cup.
and everyone was like in awe, like in shock.
You're there singing.
And we were like, "What's happening? What's happening?" We didn't have a clue, and then we got off, and we were just watching on the telly, and we turned all the music off and everything out of respect. But we still went on and played I'm a Believer and stuff like that.
Uplifting.
Yeah.
How are them preamps? What's your best and worst gigging experience?
Well, best would be Stack.
Yeah,
I
we
think
said that.
that's,
Yeah.
For me, especially.
I like
worst would be, I'm not going to mention the pub, but it's the one where they were dancing very close and kept hitting
in North Shields.
I get that a lot.
Yes, in North Shields. We'll say no more
North
than that.
Shields, a lovely place.
North Shields is a lovely
There's
place.
some of the Maggie Bank. Shout out. Excellent
You're
pub.
playing there on Sunday.
We are playing on
But
Sunday.
there was another club we played at where there was some people dancing and they were right up in Rob and Kelvin's faces.
The amount of times.
That's the only gig we've
Speaker
ever
nearly
had.
fell over.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had
did,
to stop the
didn't it?
speaker from falling on me. And then it's the only time we've ever had to stop a gig.
That was
Wow.
Rob decided enough was enough.
Yeah.
We're having a word with the audience, and that was that.
The amount of times I've had people smack the mic into my face and nearly knock my teeth out.
Yeah, that's it. It
that
gets you in the
happens
teeth,
all
doesn't
the
it?
time. Yeah.
The problem was with that one in North Shields, though. The managers and that, they didn't do a single thing about it.
Yeah.
I think
They
that's
knew
what
what was
made it
going on.
worse.
They knew what was going on back from behind the bar.
I mean, we'd stop the
come out.
music, so it wasn't like they didn't know what was going on.
But yeah, I think that's my probably worst.
Yeah,
I can't think of any other worst.
It's the one that
ones.
just sticks. We've probably had worse gigs, but that's the one that sticks in my mind.
Yeah.
But when someone says, "What's your worst gig?" That one.
Yeah. Would that be your
Aye.
worst as well?
Probably.
And
I'm trying to think of other ones.
Maybe not worse, but entertaining would have been that private party one in Gosford.
oh, this is the best
again, we'll
story.
not mention
For the
names.
dog's birthday
We
party.
played a dog's birthday party.
And before I mentioned about a toy being on a right symbol, well, that happened at that party there. And it was a Hugo.
Yes.
So tell the story then. So you got asked to do this party.
It was, yeah. I think
And-
it was from AMV. It could have been a different agency. But anyway, we got asked. It was for a dog's birthday party.
We didn't know that at the time.
We didn't. And
No, we rocked up to a very nice house in South Gosforth and went in, set up in the back garden, and then there was the dog's pictures on the coasters.
What's that for? What's that all about?
What's going on here? And then we were talking to the guy who booked her, and he was saying, yeah, it's the dog's birth. It's the dog's birthday. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. I was like,
That's the
okay, this is the
luckiest dog ever.
strangest position I've ever been
And
in.
they had portaloos, didn't they? You couldn't use the toilet inside the house.
No, there was
You used the portaloo from
portaloo out the
front
front.
garden.
That's so extra, that isn't it?
It was
without
very
a doubt.
strange. Everyone was very posh.
Yeah. Oh, that's another one we do. Like we'll get like inquiries in for people for like just a wedding or whatever, and then we'll put the quote in. But then we should really like stalk the Facebooks first, because the amount of times we've put the quote in and then looked and they're on like a super yacht with Rolexes on and everything. And
You get so much money on that.
Yeah, could have got 200% more.
Definitely.
yeah.
Jack, worst? Have you done your best one?
Do your best one first.
Okay,
best
best
and
one
worst.
was probably. I did a gig in Whitby recently, which I feel like I've talked about this quite a lot recently, so I apologise, and I'm talking about it again on a podcast. I also did a vlog about this in case you're interested.
Yes, check out Jack's channel as
Jack
well.
Jack Milcrease, Jack MYLCHREAST. That's how you spell it. Although it'll be in the description. It'll be in the description of the video.
Links down below.
Yeah. So yeah. Very long story short, because it is a doozy. So there's a guy called Danny Vaughan, who used to be in a band called Taiketo, and he was in a band called Wasted for a little while with Pete Way. And he does a lot of solo stuff, and he's from New York, but he lives in Spain or Portugal now. And he often does these private gigs for like the fan clubs, and it's like, you know, only the fans can go, it's not general sale, all this kind of stuff.
Class, like that.
And he was doing, well, on the Friday it was Danny Vaughan, and on the Saturday it was meant to be a guy called Dan Reed, who was quite famous in the late 80s as well. And they sometimes do gigs together in a duo called Snake Oil and Harmony. And it was meant to be Danny Vaughan on the Friday and Dan Reed on the Saturday. And my very good friends Gary and Joe and Amber, shout out. They will be listening to this because they're my number one fans. Love yous. They said, "Oh, we've got a spare ticket. Do you want to go to Danny Vaughan on Friday?" I was like, okay. I didn't have a gig in, so I was like, all right, fair enough. I get there and I supported Danny.
I was just going to say that. Did you support him at the Clooney?
I supported him at the Clooney and Biker 3 or 4 years ago now, and we became friends afterwards, like on Facebook and stuff. And I dropped him a line saying, "Oh, I'm going to the Whitby gig," and he was like, "Oh, mint." We didn't say mint. He's not a Geordie, but he said, "That's great. That's great. That's great.
That's awesome.
That's awesome,
dude."
so anyway, I get there, and the first thing he said was, "Congratulations on your new single," and I thought that's amazing that he's listened to a song of mine. And then he said, "Do you want to get up and do a number?" And I was like, "Okay, well, I'd love to. It's your gig. I don't want to step on your toes." He said, "No, we'll get up," and we sang a song together. Crowd really enjoyed it, and it was nice. Again, they were all mega music fans, you know. At the end of the gig, the promoter came up on the stage. I say a stage, it was like a pallet in just a pub.
Yeah, I remember seeing the photos.
And he said, really sorry, but Dan Reed, who does live in Portugal, I think, was unable to get over, or for whatever reason. And it was like a scene out of a movie. Everyone went, "Well, Jack should do the gig. Jack can do the gig." And I was like, "You want me to do the gig? I did one song and you want me to do the gig?" So anyway, I went, "All right, I could do it if you want me to do it." And he's like, "All right, well," because everyone, all these people in the fan club, they came from all over the country. There was people there from Cornwall, and there was people there from Scotland, like all to come to this fairly central gig for everybody, I suppose. So we went back the next day, and I did the gig, did like a load of original stuff, and everybody was just amazing. Like it was one of those gigs where I was like, "Aye, this is like." It was probably the first time I've played original stuff and went, "Yeah, this is actually." Sorry, I'm totally unprofessional. My phone's buzzing here. Ironically, it is about stack gigs.
Get it.
So yeah, that was probably my best one. It was really good. There is a vlog on that if you're interested.
Didn't you end up Danny getting up with you as well? Or
Yeah,
was,
so
or was that his performance on
the Friday? I got up with him and sang "Take It Easy" by the Eagles, which Lime Tree Sessions has covered. If you fancy checking that out, and it was great. There's a video of that online as well. He's just a top lad, like an amazing singer as well. Like he's absolutely spot on. So that was probably my best gig.
The worst. Let me hear your worst now.
So again, not going to name the venue because I was there on Saturday. I've given the game away there.
But now you know.
Anyway, it wasn't Saturday's gig, but it was the same place. So about in October time, something like that. I should mention that I go out solo. I'm not in a band. I go out and do solo acoustic gigs mainly. And I was in this pub, and it was rough. It was like canny rough. It was bad. And I like to have patter with the crowd. I like to kind of, you know, have a laugh and joke on and stuff. And you know, this guy was like kind of heckling us the whole time. You know what you do? You just laugh it off and just kind of try and be professional. And he ended up saying, "Play the Trooper by Iron Maiden," and I know how to play the Trooper by Iron Maiden, so I started to like play the riff, and I was like, that's all I know, sort of thing, you know. And just he ends up grabbing my microphone and like almost pushing me out the way to get it, and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" kind of thing, blah blah blah. And then from that moment on, he heckled us non-stop throughout the night. Like, you will need a bleep here, Lyndon. He called us a multiple times. Ooh. He was like, "Oh, you," and all this, and I was like, "Are you kidding us?" I was gonna say all the bleep. Anyway, very long story short, he got barred that night. And every time I've been back to the pub, it's the talk of the pub. They go, "Oh, that lad's in who got Kevin barred." And like, I'm gonna give it away a little bit here because he's barred.
Kevin.
I think he was called Kevin. It might have been Craig. I can't remember. Anyway, he's barred in every pub in that town, apart from one pub. And they all say the same thing. They go, "Oh, that's the lad who got him barred. Yo, he drinks in the Kelly now. He drinks in the Kelly."
Just going from pub to pub until he gets chucked out.
No one could be barred from the Kelly though, because it is rough as out. I've kind of given it away there where it sort of is, because there might be another pub called the Kelly, but people who know the Kelly, it's rough as out. And then it was funny though, because there was a guy there who was friends with him, and like he was every time I see, because he's always in the pub as well every time I've been back, and he says, "Oh, he's still barred, don't worry." And then I remember I went to the toilet, and like they didn't realize, the people who walked in didn't realize I was the singer, and they kept going, "Oh yeah, he barred him, he drinks in the Kelly now." It just went on and on and on. The staff behind the bar, so now I'm known as the person who's got Kevin flipping barred. So
it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
I think
you do your duty.
I think they were happy about it, to be honest. I think
without a doubt.
I think they. He said
There's
it was
a photo
like
of you on the wall.
big plaque, blue plaque. This is where Jack got Kevin barred. It was pretty shy, like, but you get them. Do you know what I mean? It's like you're never gonna have. It's like days at work. You're never gonna have the best days every time. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like. And it is a job at the end of the day, so I mean, you're gonna have bad gigs and good gigs. So
we had our first complaint recently as well from
nice.
like a
really?
wedding. It was from the get go. It was just gonna be bad, because you know when brides are just so over, like they just want to complicate things as much as they can to make it perfect, but they're just by doing that they make it worse. So like when the put the inquiry in and everything, they're supposed to send over everything, like a set list of like songs they want us to play between sets and stuff like that. And she didn't have that, so we just put on a random wedding playlist for the DJ thing. And it, like they were saying, the music's too quiet and everything. And in our break, we went to have some food, and all the bridesmaids just got up on the stage and started playing our instruments, and that's like,
whoa,
like I wouldn't be too bothered. But like obviously it's in the contract in the small print that if they do something like that, we can just pack up and leave if we want to. But obviously
really?
We're not going to do
That's
that.
good to have,
like but like if they damaged something, we probably would have just said, right, that's it, we'll go. But we obviously went back on, and we played really well and everything, and everyone was up dancing and that. And then at the end of the night, they just kept saying, "Oh, we need the music louder." But there was like a sound limit. I think it was 110 decibels or whatever.
Which is loud enough, really,
it's loud
isn't
enough,
it?
It might have been less than that. I can't remember. But like it had a traffic light system on the wall.
Oh yes,
we know them very well in the clubs.
It was in red for most of the set, to be fair, but it didn't cut the power.
I'm convinced that no matter if you dropped a pin or had Iron Maiden playing, it would be in red.
They're just there to scare you. They're not
they're
not going to turn the power off.
Like the ones that say if it reaches red, it'll cut the power at the stage.
No,
it won't. They can't do that.
We have played one where it did cut the power.
Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you. Do you want me to say about that?
We've never had that.
Do you know Andy and Faye from the AMV?
Yes.
It was their wedding. They got us to play, and they got a few different bands to play, and they went completely overboard with the PA system. It was like a 15 grand lighting rig and PA system. And they got like a sound guy in and everything. It was meant for us because we just plug in, but it was so loud, and even like in the sound check, it just kept cutting the power, and they just couldn't. I don't know why they didn't turn it down, But we played when we managed to get through our whole set, and when we ended with Twist and Shout, and the last chord of Twist and Shout, we hit it really loud, and the drummer went wild on the cymbals.
Good trash can ending.
The power in the whole set, it just went down. It was perfect though, because it just all the lights went
That's
down.
the end of the evening.
Yeah.
All you would have heard was the drums as well.
Yeah.
No musicians going at it with them, just the drummer.
But the
Class.
sound guy was furious. He was like, because it just kept cutting like all his gear, so he had to start from scratch. And he was like, "Oh, I'm this close to pulling this gig now."
Yeah,
But there was
yeah.
another 3 bands on after us. So
Really?
Oh.
yeah.
We've never had power cut out for us before. I mean, we've had it not because of a meter, but because the power was dodgy.
Yes.
Not because a meter's
at the
turned
place
off.
we said was the worst gig we've ever done.
Yes.
Oh, we've had a few.
That's the second reason it was the worst.
The
gig.
amount of times we've had to power the whole band through one socket. That's been.
We've done that.
Yeah.
We have, aye.
Really?
We lost one side of the stage.
Yeah. Was that not at the one where the... Oh, what was it called?
I don't want to say it.
No, we're not going to say it. It's a pub. Yes.
I can just cut it out. What am I saying? It's a week, chief.
Aye, that one, aye, it is.
But there's plenty of
Just
pubs
bleep
called
it,
that. To
just
be
bleep
fair,
it.
there's plenty of pubs called that. It's fine. I
Do you
didn't say where it
know
was.
That's
do you
the
know in
point.
Kill Bill when they keep bleeping out her name? Like it's like that. Just like it's like every time.
We just don't.
Because
It's
you
our
say
first
bleep,
one.
bleep.
We don't want liable. Okay, it's
No one's gonna come after you.
no, not yet.
No.
But anyway, one side of the stage went, so we had to quickly get the extension and plug it into the stage.
That was the one where where I was sat at the back, there was like a roof that I was sat under something.
Yes.
Where there was
You stood
these
up too
drop down
quickly, you'd knock
lights
yourself
things.
out.
Oh man. That was bad, because when we've said
There was a fight in the back.
yes, there was. Yes, there was a fight. What?
There was a fight in the
I can't
pub.
think what this. It was the wee chief, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was. But that was mad. That one was.
That was a crazy gig.
But we knew it was going to be bad straight away, given where it was, and the stage was full of chairs. Have you ever had that?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
stage is just
Oh,
full
where
of
they've not cleared
tables
the
and chairs.
stage.
And oh yeah, man, or something like that.
Yeah.
So you powered everything with like one extension reel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thousands of watts of PA systems and amps.
Did you like? Was it a health and safety nightmare where you had extensions into extensions?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
If
Oh,
it's
it's
not a 4-way into a 4-way, it's not a proper gig.
And that was before we had conditioned power.
Yeah, nowadays we've got like surge protected
extensions.
extensions that
Yeah.
power conditioned.
Yeah.
I've got a few in here,
I need to get some of that.
and they're great.
Yeah.
But it was before we
At
did
the
that. It was
time,
like
aye.
just cheap plastic
the white ones,
extensions.
Aye.
Not ideal.
Oh, we played Sedgefield. Oh, I shouldn't say this. Well, it's
Bleep it, don't worry.
I know, yeah.
Start again.
Sedgefield Racecourse. You can bleep it if you want. I don't care. But we played there, and we had to get there. It was on a race day, so they said, "Oh, you have to get there before the horses get there because you can't be sound checking. You can't be
Aye,
sound checking
spook them,
before."
you'll spook them.
Yeah. So we got there at like 9 a.m. or something stupid like
Oh,
that.
no.
And packed out. We did all the gear, and we just got our new desk for this gig, and it's like the wireless desk. So we did the sound check with this desk, and we put it all on. But anyway, well, I was saying about we had 4-way into 4-way, like loads of extension leads, and the health and safety executive came over and said, "Oh, you can't be doing all this. You can't have it." And he was like, "Oh, we had to sort it all out." But there was only one socket, so what can you do? But anyway, that desk, it was the first gig we did with that desk, and we sound checked with it. And then we went home and came back because we weren't on for another like 8 hours or something stupid like that till after the horses had gone. And when we got back, we'd muted the desk and we couldn't get the iPad to connect to the desk.
Oh, no way.
It just wasn't having it at all. But luckily,
the problem with wireless
This is the problem with
desks, isn't
digital
it?
desks.
I know, that's why I'm always scared about it. But luckily, I had my like a really rubbish analog desk in the car, so I had to run out
that's
and get
handy
that
then, aye.
and plug that in. But we managed to get through the gig with that. But now we have a proper Wi-Fi router, so it's not gonna.
It's
Yeah,
one of those
yeah,
things.
that's
Like,
what you
I'd
need,
love a
don't you?
digital desk for us, but it's the risk of if it crashes.
Yeah,
got
that's what I'm
That's
always
it.
scared about.
Yeah, that's it. Especially the amount of channels we need
Yeah.
to have the space for extra gear for like another mixer
Four
as a backup
vocals,
just
full
in
drums,
case.
it's like-
That's it. You've got to be careful. haven't
You'd
you?
never get it in your car either.
No, not at the moment. Not at the moment.
If we had a van, we could probably take both. Like get a digital
We
desk,
could
and
do,
then
aye.
we've got the analog as a backup. But
I take 2 desks to every gig just in case.
Do you?
Oh, you do,
I
don't
need
you?
to start doing that then. I only took that as the off chance because it was our first gig with that new desk. But I should probably
Good
start
thinking.
taking a spare desk as well.
if our desk went, we'd just have to scream.
We would, aye. We would.
Well, we couldn't even do that because we don't use amps anymore. So
No, you
it all
don't, do
goes-
you?
Yeah.
No.
It's like digital's the way forward, but like you say, it does come with risks.
It
like,
does. Yeah.
Like
Risky.
Yeah.
I mean, when we do stuff in here, for guitars at least, we don't have amps. We go through like a amp sim. I've got like the Boss one. And what make was yours, Jack?
DSM and Humboldt Simplifier.
Yeah, it was good actually. I liked it.
Yeah, it's handmade in Chile during
Chile?
the COVID
Really?
pandemic.
Chile?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was made in the first lockdown. It's got a little plaque on the back of it that says "Handmade in Chile during the
Oh,
COVID
that's
lockdown."
cool.
That is wicked.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
aye. But it works for stuff like this because it's
It does,
like
yeah.
you don't want any bleed and all that kind of stuff.
Just plug and play.
And to be fair, with the way gigs are going as well, like digital is just like it is the way forward. As much as I mean, it's ironic though because your band and the preamps similar styles. Yet you guys are old school. Yet you guys are doing all the digital stuff.
were
It's
all-
like,
yeah.
vintage.
I used to use a proper Vox AC10 thing, and it's brilliant to have them on stage because it looks the part.
Yeah, that's
doesn't
it, innit?
That's what I really didn't want to get rid of it, but then when I did like a few stat gigs with it without an amp, and it was just this is so much better. You just don't have, you get a guitar and your pedal board in one hand.
I think it helps the type of gigs as well.
Yeah.
Like with Stack, it's got really plug and play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas us, we're doing the club gigs and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
you've
You
got-
have
you've got
time
time,
to
yeah.
set
Space,
up.
you've
You've
got
got space.
time.
Aye.
Yeah.
not to mention that the people in the clubs.
I want to see
Yeah.
that vintage look, and I
Yeah.
get what you mean.
Well, also just like I mean, let's be honest. People in the clubs, there'll be a lot of people in there who I play guitar and all this, and they'll be like,
Definitely.
that Vox AC30. I had one of them back. You know, it's nostalgia as well as
You
know what I mean?
You
Yeah.
get people coming up to you after the gig.
Kelvin out
looking at the guitars and
Yeah.
seeing what the
Well, I did when I came to see you.
Yeah.
you did, aye.
First thing I said to
First
Kelvin,
time
No
you
one
saw
really acknowledges us sat at the back.
I have
No,
the
no.
odd one about my drum kit because
Yeah.
people are like it's unusual because I have a Gretsch kit.
Soph asked a lot about your kit afterwards.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
actually literally just bought those dampener things that you've
The
got.
snare weights.
Yeah.
I've just got some as well. I've got more ones from me Tom's.
She's literally just bought
They're the best.
a pack of them.
They're the best snare
Yeah,
weights.
no one's rocking up going, what keyboard do you use? I don't get that.
You do get the odd one about is it Nord you've got because
Very occasionally, but yeah.
they're quite a niche thing. Nords, well, at least they were, not so much now. Are
And
they?
they're very popular.
Yeah,
You see them everywhere now.
Best looking keyboards around.
Oh,
They are
yeah.
the
It's
Reds.
red. What's not to
Mint.
like?
Yeah.
I like how my Muffin Son's keyboard player. He puts Love It over it, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Nord, so it's not brand and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's all blacked
A lot
out.
of people do that. A lot of people put tape over the Roland one as well.
Yeah.
That's
There's I can't remember what the band is, but they use Roland ones, and they cross one of the stalks out in the arse, so it says Poland on the back.
Right.
I've not seen that.
Of the
not seen
keyboard.
Do you get like all your sounds from that though? Is it like
Yeah, everything.
So like because the reason I bring it up is because we went to go see James Bay recently, and his keyboard player, I forgot her name, but she was really good. She was using two.
She had two notes.
She
No,
did,
it's-
yeah, I should did.
I think the probably like the bottom one will be weighted for keys and stuff, and the top one's like semi-weighted for organs. Is really handy because
Yeah.
playing organ, if I have to do a slide on that, it kills your fingers.
Can you? Is that weighted?
Yes.
Can you unweight it?
No.
Can you?
No, it's built in the keys, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Is it possible to do that where it's like weighted and not weighted?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
like as in on
You
the
just have
same
to pay a
keyboard.
lot of money for it.
Ah.
can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So weighted ones it feels more like a real piano.
Yeah.
But you can get what's called semi-weighted or waterfall keys.
Mine's got that.
I like it.
it.
It's so much lighter
yeah.
to play.
I like the idea of trying to switch it on and off, where you have
That would be
light
cool.
keys, and then, but it's not necessarily the weight of them. Obviously, you can't change that with a flick of a switch. But like the way you press it, like it changes the feeling of it to make it feel like it's weighted. I wonder if that's a thing.
There must be. If not, we'll definitely get the patent on that. Like,
Yeah.
because did you know, right? If you have the patent on something, you don't have to invent it.
No, you just own the rights to it.
You own the rights to it, and you wait for someone else to invent it.
And then you
Sell
sue
it
Jack,
to
you can get on this as
Yeah,
well. The
yeah,
four of us
let's
will
do
own
it,
the
let's
patent
So
for
if
that.
Kawhi are listening,
Yeah.
who do the Nord stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, do they?
yeah.
I didn't know
from
that,
now,
Kawhi.
from,
Keyboard
from
stuff.
now, they don't look like what,
The one
which
you've got.
Electro 5.
5. Oh, could be on the 5. Mine's not. Mine's
It's
Nord's.
it's on the Grand, isn't it? They've got the
Kawhi,
one.
Kawhi. But
Yeah.
then all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
new
will
stuff
be,
they're going
aye.
to start doing with Kawhi as well, which is really good.
Is it?
But
Aye.
Yeah.
if they are listening,
But you would love to have an organ and a Rhodes
Oh, yeah.
for gigs
if I
and
had
stuff.
the room,
Eventually.
yeah,
Get an electro on the top of that.
That would be
brilliant.
cool.
That.
Oh, you have considered that, haven't you? Like
yeah,
a 2TR.
just for organ stuff because it's lighter. Otherwise, you take all the skin off your fingers when
Yeah.
you're playing. It's not
No,
ideal.
you want a proper Fender Rhodes and a Hammond organ.
Yeah.
That'll be wicked.
A friend of mine, he's actually the keyboard player in the Emerald Thieves, which
Right, nice.
which is Soph's band. He has 2 Fender Rhodes. One of them he plays, one of them he doesn't, and like is in the loft, and like he wants it to like because it's a fairly.
A vintage one, like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what year it was.
I was
but
going to say,
it's
do you know
a-
what mark it is, but you probably won't.
I feel like he said it was from the 70s. Is that right?
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they had them in the 70s. Yeah.
I don't know, actually. I'll be honest, I don't know what year it is, but he said it's like a year where they're worth a fair amount of money. So he's kept it in the loft
Yeah.
for that reason, being
Well,
like, right.
You'll see them on like Reverb and that
Yeah.
coming up, and it's like, oh, they're bloody expensive.
I think he said, now, Budgie, if you're listening, I don't think you will be, but if you're listening, I apologise if I got this fact wrong, but I think because he does a lot of like roof tiling with his dad, and I think as part of one of the jobs he did, that was like the payment, because I think he walked into his house and went, like, you know, oh, how much do I owe you? And he went, oh, well, I'll have that Fender Rhodes. He went, hi, you have it?
No way. What?
That's meant that.
Yeah.
I wish we could do that at gigs. Like there was instruments on the stage. Oh, we'll take an instrument rather than get paid.
I could be wrong, but I'm positive that was the story. I'll have
He's
to ask
mint.
him. Aye, yeah.
I
yeah.
ask him about it.
Aye, that would be good. Like, my nice Les Paul in the corner. Oh, I'll have that, yeah. That'd be great, yeah.
I'll just not get paid. I'll have the
Let's
Les
have that.
Paul.
Aye. I do know somebody who did that, actually. A friend of mine he's like a handyman, electrician kind of guy, and he was doing some work at somebody's house, and he's a massive guitar collector. Not massive player, but like just buys lots and lots of guitars. And he literally was doing like a job on somebody's house that he knew, and they said, "Oh, what do I? Oh yeah," and there was a Fender Tornado guitar.
All right,
Which is like quite-
they are cool.
It's quite an
Oh, is
obscure.
it Cyclone or Tornado?
Isn't Tornado? It was Fender's way at trying to make 335 sort
Yes.
of thing.
Oh, yeah.
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not that one. It's what's the one I'm thinking of? Then it's like it's almost like an offset shape.
Yeah, I think it's the Cyclone, isn't it? It's
it-
like
Might be
similar
that
to
one.
the. Yeah.
It was one of the rare Fenders, though. It's not a Strat, it's not Telly. It's like,
Yeah.
they only made them for a little bit.
Don't they have one called the Starcaster?
Yeah, that's the one that's like the 335. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a thing, but it's offset the Starcaster. The
Yeah, yeah.
Tornado's
I really like it 'cause,
more like a
James has one.
335. Yeah, definitely.
really nice.
I don't
Semi-hollow.
like it. That's
Yeah.
just me. That's
Sam's great.
Do you know what? I like the look of the headstocks on them.
Yeah.
I quite like them. They're bigger
No.
than a Strat, obviously. They're
No.
a bit more curvy sort of edges.
I'm a
as well.
slight traditionalist.
And
when
the
it comes
backwards
to-
as well. Reverse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But he did the
Yeah,
same
cool.
thing. He said, "Oh yeah, I'll have that," and he went, "Oh, okay, fair enough." So
What
maybe it's just a thing. Here, we're in the wrong trade, aren't we?
I know,
Really?
yeah.
Should we
all
just-
gonna
why are we
become
roofers?
should us all become roofers and electricians, and then we'll go around and be like, just go around to clients who have instruments.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
That's what you got to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you got to do.
You've got a job, yes.
yeah. do you like tellies or Strats? Yeah.
Definitely.
So you've been doing a canny few gigs at the Halt. Is that in Middlesbrough?
Red Car.
Red
yeah.
Car.
Yeah, it's owned by our friends in the Moondogs, which is another 50s and 60s rock and roll band from the northeast.
Quite
There's-
incestuous.
There is.
It's quite
when you think about
incestuous,
it.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're playing there quite a lot. I go to the open mic night every Tuesday night. I might go there tonight, actually. I won't be singing though, because my throat's not doing great. But yeah, we play there quite a lot. I played there every weekend. It was one of the best gigs I've done at the weekend, actually, with a new band. Well, we put it together in the last couple of weeks. It was really fun. Nice to do something different.
He did this awesome video on Instagram.
We all talked about when he came
yeah,
in.
we're like, that video you did, California Dreaming.
Yeah,
Oh, it was
yeah.
great.
Good song.
Really
I
good.
love all the harmonies in that. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Mint.
We try because there's like in the Houndcats, there's only like me and Billy that sing, so it's nice to have like 3 or 4 singers in a band to have
Yeah.
all the harmonies. It's brilliant.
It makes all the difference, even if
does.
like, in my opinion as well, even if it's like just people not necessarily singing the harmony, just joining in.
Yeah.
It just makes a difference to the vibe and everything.
It
Do you know what I
fills
mean?
out the sound of
Atmosphere.
it, doesn't it? Yeah.
Like if people are singing the same harmony or whatever, it's like the choir-esque-ness
Yeah.
of it.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
It makes a huge difference to a live performance. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Like. Right, thank you very much. This has been the first ever Lime Tree Sessions podcast. We're hoping to have a few more guests on at some point, but for the time being, we'd like to give thank you to Jack Harvey from the Houndcats. He's been absolutely
Thank you, Jack.
sensational.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. Thank you very much.
Give us a quick plug of your band.
Well,
And
you can come see us if you want. We play along the northeast all the time. We're called the Houndcats, as you've probably heard.
doing 60 stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not sick of the 60 stuff, but you think I would be by now, hanging out with the preamps every week.
Yeah, we don't have
Um,
many public gigs. Like you can probably catch us at Stack Seaburn at some point.
Book them for your wedding or your
Yeah,
private
exactly.
party or
There
your
you go.
dog's party. That's always
Yeah.
Oh,
a
your
good
dogs,
one.
yes,
That's
your
always
dogs
a good
party.
one.
But
Definitely.
your cat got a birthday coming up.
Yeah. Has your fish died?
Houndcats.
The fish
Fish
funeral?
died.
Yeah.
Fish died.
The Houndcats. Very good, very good. But yes, thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye.
Ta-da.